So after recently watching The Nightmare Before Christmas for only the second time in a few years, I found that the film has some really cool uncovered secrets about it. Tim Burton and Henry Selick team up to make this movie just perfectly creepy and fun. Characters like Jack Skellington and Sally make it more down-to-earth, while Dr. Finkelstein and the Mayor make it more sinister. So today I dive into the universe of the Christmas that happened after the nightmare. Ready for a theory? Hey everyone, it's CTO of the Theory channel, and let's just get right into this movie. I know that there are multiple video games that cover the film's universe, as well as other movies that main character Jack Skellington appears in, but I won't be including them in my analysis, as they aren't actual prequels or sequels, and Tim Burton and Henry Selick don't have anything to do with them. But to the movie itself, it's actually pretty sad. I mean, it's supposed to be about Halloween and Christmas and skeletons and Santa Claus and all that Tim Burton jazz, but if you think about it, The Nightmare Before Christmas has some really tragic symbolism. Jack Skellington, aka the Pumpkin King, is the scariest specimen in all of Halloween Town. He's tired of putting on the same Halloween show every year though, and becomes bored and saddened with his life. Jack then ends up in Christmas Town and discovers the wonders of Christmas and joy. He tries to bring all of that to Halloween Town, partly by becoming Santa Claus himself, but fails pretty miserably and causes chaos on Christmas Eve. So in the end, Jack accepts going back to being the Pumpkin King and putting on Halloween each year once again. Is it just me, or is that like an extreme version of when you want to be one thing, your parents want you to be something else, and your parents win? It's pretty sad for Jack. He's basically stuck with being the Pumpkin King, an identity he wanted to shake. But what if I told you that the only person he has to blame is himself? Halloween Town is full of these monster-type creatures that have presumably been living there for centuries on end, since they're immortal. And Jack seems to have the real leadership role there. Everyone else, even the mayor, look up to him as if he's the true king. And this is how it seems to be in the other towns too. Santa leads Christmas Town, and the Easter Bunny leads Easter Town. Side note, has anyone else wondered what's happening in Thanksgiving Town? I mean, is there a giant turkey in there? And while Halloween Town prepares for Halloween with frights and costumes, and Christmas Town prepares by making presents and hanging stockings, what does Thanksgiving Town do? Prepare their giving of thanks? But enough is said about my favorite holiday, and let's get back to Jack. As I said earlier, the monsters of Halloween Town seem to worship Jack, primarily as being the best scarer. But I think that he's not just the best scarer, he was the first scarer, the first monster from Halloween Town. It would make sense that Jack, Santa, the Easter Bunny, and the other leaders were the first ones in their respective themed towns, and that they created all of the other people themselves. Meaning that Jack literally constructed all of the monsters in Halloween Town, which actually makes a ton of sense. The monsters not only look up to Jack as if he created them, but they follow his lead, even when it's off. You'd think that someone would protest against ditching Halloween and celebrating Christmas, but they all just make creepy little toys in a robot-like way. Plus, the monsters are immortal, meaning that they'll never really die, so it's very plausible that the monsters created by Jack are still the monsters that we see in the movie. It's actually very similar to another Henry Selick movie that we all know and love. In Coraline, the other mother created people like the other father, who is controlled by her and only has a little bit of free will. The monsters of Halloween Town aren't controlled by Jack, but they have the exact same mindset. But I said something earlier that actually isn't true. Monsters not only look up to Jack as if he created them, but they follow his lead, even when it's off. You'd think that someone would protest against ditching Halloween and celebrating Christmas, but they all just make creepy little toys in a robot-like way. They don't all make creepy toys. There's one person who doesn't. Sally. She seems to be very different from all of the other monsters throughout the whole movie, and she is. Because one of the main things we know about her is that she was made by Dr. Finkelstein. Meaning that Sally might be the only creature in the town that wasn't created by Jack. She's more of a science experiment for Finkelstein, and because Jack didn't make her himself, she has the most free will. Sally's the only one that doesn't think Jack's doing the right thing, and the only one who predicts that Christmas will go horribly wrong. And going back to the title of this video, why does Christmas turn out so badly? If the monsters follow and worship Jack, then wouldn't they be able to produce a successful Christmas if Jack wants them to? No, because the monsters' mindsets are very fixed. Jack designed them for one sole purpose in mind, to put on a successful Halloween show each and every year. So although Jack's mind can suddenly be interested in the idea of Christmas, his citizens' minds cannot.
This is a thing called a present. The whole thing starts with a box.
A box?
Is it steel?
Are there locks? Is it filled with a pox?
A pox? How delightful, a pox.
They're not humans, they're not even monsters, they're twisted robots that Jack programmed to do the same exact thing every single year. Put on a Halloween show. And all of this is pretty sad for Mr. Skellington. He's stuck in a claustrophobic world in which all of the other people around him are unable to not have the same intent every minute of their lives. And technically speaking, it's all Jack's fault. But at least he has Sally.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's really cool, however, that Mr. Jack Skellington, the first scare, the best scare, the Pumpkin King, is actually a very tender person, a very tragic person, and a person who put a large amount of grief onto himself. So that was my Nightmare Before Christmas theory. The combo of Tim Burton and Henry Selick really made this film enjoyable for me to watch, study, and theorize on. I still want to watch and hopefully make a video on Paranorman, The Corpse Bride, and maybe even The Box Trolls, as I know that other YouTubers are linking the films together quite well.
So Jack Skellington is Victor Van Dort after he ages several years to his death in the mid-1900s, at which point the Land of the Dead has converted into Halloween Town, and he becomes known as Jack Skellington the Pumpkin King.
So tell me what you think. Did Jack Skellington actually create all of the monsters in Halloween Town? And is that the reason why Christmas failed so miserably? Let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to reach 500 by the end of the year, so click that tempting red button and help me reach my goal. Other theories on this channel include Harry Potter, Coraline, Pixar, Ghibli, and much more. Thanks for watching.